I'll bet there are a lot of politicians tonight hoping that no one looks at my yearbook. No one looks at their yearbooks. And the thing is, none of this is surprising. And it's probably not surprising that so many politicians are going straight to the Trump playbook. Fight back and you can survive anything. Even a racist blackface scandal. You don't have to have grown up in the South like I did to know that racism runs very deep in this country. It has from the very beginning. It's a third rail, right, in American society. So it's not surprising that the governor of Virginia is refusing to resign. It's not surprising that he is hiring a crisis communicator tonight, something he maybe should have done a long time ago. It's not surprising that he is meeting with prominent black leaders while ignoring calls from just about every top Democrat to step down. It's not surprising that he wants to put the whole thing behind him and keep his job. Right? Never mind that all of this is what it's doing to the state and to his party. Let's not forget how this all went down, okay? So let me run it down for you. First, the governor apologized for the photo and the racism it represents, saying that it was him, remember? He's saying, oh, in that photo, but that doesn't represent him. And then less than 24 hours later, he denied that he was even in the photo at all, while admitting he went to a party in blackface as Michael Jackson and nearly demonstrating his moonwalking. Well, until his wife told him that it was inappropriate.
Are you still able to moonwalk?
Inappropriate circumstances.
My wife says inappropriate circumstances.
Yep. You know what's inappropriate? Blackface. Inappropriate. Period. And the governor is not the only one under fire for this. He's not even the only one in Virginia. The number 3 official in that state, Attorney General Mark Herring, says that he put on blackface too for a party in 1980 when he and some friends dressed like rappers, putting on wigs and brown makeup. No, just no. Okay? He did apologize for his poor judgment, saying, quote, this was a one-time occurrence and I accept full responsibility for my conduct. He has given no indication that he's going to resign, but he did step down today as co-chair of the Democratic Attorneys General Association. And the thing is, it is not just Virginia. Blackface is way more common than you think. I told you that. It was way more common. It happened at fraternities in the 80s and 90s and even in the 2000s and at colleges and universities, especially Southern colleges and universities. It did happen. Even at some high schools. Just 2 weeks ago, the Florida Secretary of State, Michael Ertel, resigned after photos of him at a party in blackface as a Katrina victim were publicly revealed. And this is what the one Chris and I were talking about. This is a photo, take a look at it, Florida State Representative Anthony Sabatini, with his face blackened in what he says was a high school prank. He and one of his best friends dressing as each other. The representative's high school friend, who is black, agreed to that, telling the Orlando Sentinel, quote, every year at high school homecoming week, we had things like 80s days and celebrity days, and we said, I'm going to be you and you're going to be me. I don't know how it got to be seen as racial, that's all it was. He told CNN, quote, I've known Anthony all my life. Even after high school, me and Anthony still keep in contact. Anthony wasn't that kind of guy. Asked by the Orlando Sentinel if he would consider dressing in blackface again, the Representative Sabatini said, quote, are you joking? Of course not. The photo originally came out during the campaign last fall. Here's the important part that didn't happen in Virginia. Voters had the chance to see it. They heard Sabatini's explanation, and they voted for him anyway. He won his race. That's different than Virginia. Voters didn't have that choice with the governor. But the fact is, blackface is a problem, even if it's a high school prank, even if you and your friends agree that it's funny. I'm going to speak a little bit later on in this show to a prominent historian who will help me explain exactly why to everyone. You want to watch that. And while blackface is the problem for the number 1 and the number 3 official in Virginia, there's another scandal facing another top official. This is the number 2 person. This is the Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, denying an allegation of sexual assault. Vanessa Tyson, a fellow at Stanford University and an associate professor at Scripps College, went public today, issuing a statement describing an incident back in 2004 when she alleges Fairfax forced her to perform oral sex. Fairfax had no comment to CNN this afternoon.
Response to the allegation against you. Should just release a lengthy statement.
See you guys. Thank you.
We don't have any comment.
Lieutenant Governor.
But he later released a written statement saying, quote, "Reading Dr. Tyson's account is painful. I have never done anything like what she says." Fairfax is being represented by the law firm that represented Brett Kavanaugh when he was accused of sexual assault by Christine Blasey Ford. Tyson has hired the same law firm that represented Blasey Ford. All of this, the scandals facing Virginia's governor, lieutenant governor, the attorney general, could change the face of that state. All 3 of Virginia's top officials are Democrats. If all 3 were to step down, next in line of succession would be the Republican Speaker, Kirk Cox. And that would turn Virginia from blue to red. But the reality is Governor Northam is not going to resign. And there's no reason to think that the lieutenant governor or the attorney general will step down either. Like I said, the strategy here, the strategy of waiting for the next big thing to drive your scandal out of the headlines is right out of the Trump playbook. The lesson of the Trump era seems to be you can survive anything if you fight back. It worked for Donald Trump when the Access Hollywood tape came out just 1 month before Election Day. After offering an initial apology, Trump doubled down, calling the whole thing locker room talk, and later reportedly denying it was even his own voice. It worked for Congressman Steve King, who's made a career out of one racist statement after another, most recently asking, quote, "White nationalist, white supremacist, Western civilization, how did that language become offensive?" It worked for Brett Kavanaugh, who responded to Christine Blasey Ford's allegations that he sexually assaulted her when they were teenagers with angry accusations of what he called a calculated and orchestrated political hit by Democrats. It worked for all of them. Compare that to Al Franken, who did not fight back. He resigned in December of 2017 after multiple women accused him of touching them inappropriately. Franken apologized for some of the accusations, but said in his resignation speech that his response to those women's accounts gave some people the false impression that I was admitting to doing things that, in fact, I haven't done. So, is the lesson in all of this fight back and you can survive just about anything? Think about that.